Discover solutions to issues that affect your family and professional life with practical information to help you get past life's adversities. Take a proactive approach to power up your life with Rosalie's expert resources.
The history of the toy Hess truck remains a happy holiday moment that I hold in my childhood memories. And I remember my brothers' big smiles on their face after Santa parked those trucks around the base of the Christmas tree. As young boys, they dreamed of driving that big rig one day. And those holiday traditions continue with everything old that is new and cool. Here to share what is new and exciting and show you this year's classic toy that's an asset to assist STEM education in classrooms is Hess Toy Truck GM Justin Mayer. Good morning, Justin.
Thanks so much for having me again. What a great tradition.
Speaking of tradition, how old is the Hess truck brand?
So it's 53 years this year. We first started in 1964, and every year making a new, better than ever truck just in time for the holidays.
Amazing. It's endured throughout the years, and still it's a huge favorite. So why is this truck taking on an educational benefit to boys and girls who have a STEM curriculum?
What we did was we partnered with Baylor University and created essentially a teaching kit, a curriculum that can be used to teach core science, technology, engineering, and math to students in grades 2 through 8 across the country. We provided free toys for last year's toy with the curriculum. We had over 10,000 teachers apply for the kits, and because of the overwhelming success, we now created a new one that comes along with this year's 2017 Hess dump truck and loader. It teaches really cool concepts such as friction and motion and lever points, and it's really an awesome new way to use the Hess toy truck that's been around forever to teach. And so many kids are interested in learning, and parents are interested in finding educational value in toys, and we know that a classic toy like the toy truck can be used in just that way.
The Toy Industry Association named classic toys, STEM toys, and collectible toys as 3 holiday season toy trends. Why is the Hess toy truck fit all 3 of these trends?
I think we stay true to what we know has worked for 53 years, and I think we've got a pretty good formula. If you make an amazing toy that's got lights and sounds, and I mean, this guy even has motion, it's going to be just so much fun to play with. Kids are going to want it. And if you do it with tremendous quality that will last for generations to use, and you do it at an amazing price, people are going to find a way to get it and love it. And that's what's happened for 53 years. Now, it happens to be a trend that old classic toys are good again, and that's great because we know that there's so much value in playing with real toys, not just iPads and app games. And it's great to see that coming back, that folks really want to focus again on making sure the kids can have an imaginative play experience. And with boats and planes and spaceships and race cars that we've done over the years, kids create their own Hess world whenever a new Hess toy truck comes out, and they love to play with it. And it's just a great way to encourage that.
And kids don't play one-on-one with toys anymore. They're buried in their electronics, and they really don't come up for air. And there's no interaction in touching the toy. So, Justin, where do you get your marketing suggestions to keep the Hess toy truck brand fresh and relevant in the toy industry?
The ideas for the toys come from Santa, of course, and we make sure to work the workshop all year and bring it out just in time for the holidays. And the truth is, it can take anywhere from 2 to 6 years to make sure that we can design a toy that's going to be really an awesome toy to play with and has the right level of detail and durability that we know fans have come to expect from us, and we want to make sure we deliver each and every year.
And how about in your home? Do you have any fans that can help you spark new ideas?
Yeah, so I have a second grade little girl and a third grade boy, and the 2 of them are clearly the biggest fans and the most opinionated fans I've learned. But, talking about where we get ideas, it was awesome this weekend. I went down to the basement, and they were playing with a parade of Hess trucks from 1980s through today, lined up in some amazing, combination of, girl dolls playing in the back of construction trucks. It was just such an amazing thing to see, and you see how great of a toy and imagination world that they can create with the years of Hess trucks.
All right, tell us where we can learn more about the new classic Hess truck.
The only place to get it is from Hess Corporation at HessToyTruck.com. There's a truckload of information there, and it is the only place to get it. It comes with free shipping and Energizer batteries included.
Thanks, Justin, for joining us and introducing the iconic Hess toy truck holiday favorites and how this year it will benefit students in the classroom studying STEM. Happy holidays, Justin.
Bye-bye, thanks. Happy holidays.
No matter where you'll be dining this holiday season, I'm sure you will be looking forward to the desserts as the grand finale. Desserts are a staple, mostly during the holiday season, when classics will always have a place in your hearts and on the table. But now you can put a new twist on the tradition and serve up those quintessential holiday flavors in new ways. Here with information on America's favorite dessert trends and tips on making some of those great holiday cool treats is pastry chef Lee Omolinski. Good morning, Lee.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're a very passionate pastry chef, and you know because you started at a very early age as a teenager working in pastry shops. And you shared with us that your first love is Italy.
Yes.
So, what's your favorite holiday pastry?
You know what? I love what other people bring. I love when people, put their heart and soul into what they do, and really, it's what it's all about, is taking care of each other. So I like what's in front of me, but I think I'm a chocolate girl, really.
We all know how important food is at holiday gatherings. What are some must-haves that should be on every table?
You know, I think that everyone has such different tastes and different wants and needs for their holidays that I think a variety is always good. I know for my family, we would always have pumpkin and pecan pies on our table. And I think that it's just like that nostalgic feeling. And having the variety where you can have like 2 pieces of pie is like really special.
All right, so tell us, how can we take a classic pumpkin or pecan pie and create this year's trendy dessert?
Well, I think some trends right now are small desserts. I think small food is really, really adorable, and then everyone gets their own individual thing, which is special. So we have these pie pops here that are adorable and small, and you can, walk around and eat them. I also think that putting cereal and, again, those nostalgic flavors in desserts, whether it's like in your ice cream or wherever, I think that's really great too. I took a chocolate pie and I scooped out the center of the pie, which is like this pudding looking stuff, and I made Rice Krispie treats. And I put it inside the pie shell, put the pie back on top of it, and dipped it in chocolate. So then we have here mini desserts, to go back to that trend you were asking about, with the nostalgic flavors of Rice Krispie treats. So it's little portable candy bars. The pie pops here are actually made with a pumpkin pie. So think of like a cake pop, but made with pie. What
advice do you have for those of us who want to test out these trends for this holiday?
You know, I think that having fun is the most important thing. I think going back to what you know in your childhood flavors and what you really love is important too. That will always kind of shine through. But keep it simple. Like, make it easy on yourself. You can get these pies in the freezer section of your store, of your local grocery store. And if you have any questions too, they actually have a pie locator at edwardsdesserts.com. So you can just keep it simple and just have fun with it. You know, you can take what you know. Take like this. I made a German chocolate cake with already made you can use your favorite chocolate cake recipe, or you can buy cake, or you can get a cake mix, and again, just like had fun kind of deconstructing it and putting it all back together.
All right, Lee, tell us where we can find all these inspiring holiday recipes.
The recipes are on edwardsdesserts.com.
Thank you, Lee, for joining us and sharing holiday favorite desserts with a new twist. Happy holidays to you.
And to you.
In a world full of devices, do you ever feel like it's hard to connect with the folks around you? Well, lifestyle expert Marilee Kern has a very unique and fun item to tell us about that can change that. Good morning, Marilee.
Hey there. Yes, we see it everywhere. The couple at dinner staring into their phones, even entire families all gazing into a bottomless digital abyss. Now Meow Wolf artist Nick Toll offers a wild, fun, and colorful new solution to this human disconnect problem. It's called the Experience Tube. Check out this wild video that explains.
What's wrong with this picture? Everyone loves people, right? These days, people are so distracted, it can seem impossible to make a real connection. It's time for a serious upgrade. Introducing the Experience Tube. The fast, easy, safe, and colorful way to delight in the company of friends, relatives, complete strangers, or even pets. Simply attach each end of the tube to a couple wacky mugs and let the experience flow. No subscription necessary. Our trademark system collaborates with at least 65% of your whole brain to generate all sorts of experience. Guaranteed! More visual information than could ever come through a little rectangular screen. And since the Experience Tube is made of nothing but soft, durable, washable fabric, there's nothing to break or recharge. You can even build your vocabulary by talking all the time. Our trademark design replaces all peripheral unnecessary distraction with jazzy stripes. And when you're not inside the tube, it's a multifunctional fashion accessory. So many hip combinations to discover and so many colors to choose from. Go ahead, make a real connection.
So as you can see, the Experience Tube is a face-to-face experience like no other that offers silly fun for families, couples, office parties, and definitely those funny grab bag novelty and gag gift occasions. At just $24.99, it's good, clean fun. Check it out and order online at experiencetube.com.
What's a great way to travel with no planes and use no hotels? Just think of an easy, flexible, and a great way to experience a vacation adventure with family and friends. Think of an RV vacation. On the road for a long weekend, or as long as you can. Here, live from the National RV Show in Louisville, Kentucky, is Alan Taylor, host of The Drive with Alan Taylor and Entrepreneur Radio. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Rosalie.
RVs have become so popular recently. What's motivating this travel trend?
You know what? I think people are just happier. The economy is good. I mean, the RV industry is absolutely booming right now. They're going to sell 500,000 units, which is a record for the entire industry this year, and they're probably going to break that next year. Things are just going really good, and I think that people in their lives are starting to experience a little bit of happiness, and they're going out and playing. And the RV is the best way to do it. You get out there, you kind of just disconnect, other than, of course, if you want to connect, most of these RV campgrounds do have connectivity, which is important for many. But you just disconnect from your normal life, and you breathe, and you think, and you find peace. And that's an important thing. I mean, that's a quality of life issue.
Absolutely, I'm with you. Well, why are the winter months a great time for an RV trip?
Well, in Miami, do you guys even get winter there? But you know, it's really a great time because, and I've said this before, depending on where you are in the country, but for you guys, it's like beautiful all the time. It's just a great time to get out. There's a little chill in the air. You get out of the camper in the morning and you take a deep breath, have a cup of coffee, and you just think, I'm alive. And so I think that wintertime, the campsites aren't as crowded. Obviously, in the summertime, you have a little more, activity going on. But, when you're driving down, I mean, my show's called The Drive, so I'm driving down the road, I see these little signs that say campsite. You know what? Even in your car, pull off and go check those out. It'll blow your mind. I did it the other day. There was one with tennis courts and volleyball, people playing Frisbee. There was a place to launch the boat. I mean, it was like Shangri-La. So you see those little signs. They don't mean much to the average person until you start looking. Pull off, and you'll see where your next vacation, your next, Shangri-La will be. And it might be just down the street from your house.
Share some of your favorite destinations here in Florida that you would recommend for an RV trip this time of year.
Well, I mean, you guys are probably right there because the sun is always shining. And so if you are in Miami and you're watching us on TV, you know what? Go to GoRVing.com and just type in there campsites Miami, and you're going to find out that there are places for you to go all over the place that you didn't even know existed. So especially like You know, there's campgrounds near the marina in Key Largo. There's all kinds of great places you can go. You can be on the ocean, you can be in the woods, you can be all these different places. You can find them at GoRVing.com, believe it or not.
So what's the best way to prepare for an RV trip?
Well, you know what? A lot of people, they don't have an RV yet, and sometimes they'll go out and they'll just buy one. And I always say you want to rent one first. You want to rent a pull trailer. You want to rent a motorhome. What size can you pull with the vehicle you own? Because you don't want to buy an RV and then find out, wow, this is more pull trailer than my vehicle should be towing. It probably can. So you want to spend some time doing some research so that it is a real good experience from the beginning by renting one. So you might want to rent a Class C, which is like the van in the front. The Class A is where you're sitting, you know, next to the windshield and there's a big motorhome behind you. So there's all these different types of RVs you can rent, and that's a great way to get started.
What's so appealing about an RV lifestyle?
You know, I have 4 kids, and I'm an entrepreneur. I work with Entrepreneur Magazine, and I am a busy, busy guy. I was up at 5 o'clock this morning texting and getting ready and, you know, just life, right? I can't get away from it till I get inside my RV and just take off. I leave everything behind me, and then there's those little times where I need that hour to just catch up, but 23 of the other hours, I'm living life, and that's getting lost in our busy lifestyles.
All right, Alan, share a good online RV resource.
Well, the one place that is the easiest of all, if you want to go RVing, is GoRVing.com. Has everything.
Thanks, Alan, for sharing the appeal and the freedom of RVing. Happy travels.
Thanks, Rosalie. Appreciate it.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more steamy than the legendary Jersey Shore parties, the same producers take you to the Florida Panhandle along the beach that stretches to Alabama with MTV's new Floribama Shore. Wait till you feel the heat during the holiday season. This real-world party features 8 young adults who come to spend the summer in the hottest beach town on the Gulf Coast. Here to share the thrills of being young and trying to figure out the future as a group who joins together as a family is new cast members Candace and Jeremiah. Good morning to both of you.
Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning.
So Candace, how does Southern Belle like you from Tennessee find your way to the Floribama Shore?
Now, I had a friend of mine send me an application for the show, and I just filled it out because honestly, the title of the application sounded like me. Are you a Southerner that wants to party and want people to film it? Yeah. So I filled out the application, and then the application went from a phone interview went to Skype interviews, ended up them flying me into the house in Panama City Beach filled with craziness.
And how about you, Jeremiah? How did you get from Florida's Amelia Island on the East Coast to the west coast of Floribama Shore?
Well, oddly enough, it was my birthday weekend, and my 2 brothers took me out to party. So naturally, you know, what happened was we went to this bar, and I was dancing on the dance floor, and one of the producers from MTV saw me dancing, and apparently they liked what they saw.
The dance moves, Lord.
And I did a 2-minute interview, and then I got flown out to LA to do some more interviews. So it was surreal.
So Candace, how's living in a co-ed setting and the stress of sharing living space with the opposite sex and catty females?
Oh, Rosalie. Let me tell you. Okay, it's crazy from the beginning of the summer to the end of the summer. You know, having to decide who's going to clean the kitchen, inviting guests over, you know, deciding who you're attracted to, who to act upon, who snores. You know, it's all just craziness of living with these people. But at the end of the day, all of those dynamics is what made us a family, and it was an incredible experience.
All right, Jeremiah, share some experiences that challenged you to find your independence.
Well, how do I follow that? I mean, geez. From a male perspective, no. I mean, you're used to having your own stuff. You're used to strutting around whenever you wanted to, naked, and now you're just like, ooh, should I do that right now? They might get the wrong idea, you know?
Oh.
And not to mention living with a couple of other guys that have testosterone in their bones, and they're trying to I guess, be the alpha male, it leads to a lot of drama because of it.
You know what's crazy? There was drama between both the guys and the girls in the house. For me, I'm very cool. I was the cool, calm, and collected one. So I had my ways of dealing with it. And at the end of the day, after all of the cattiness was done, we always resolved the issues.
All right, what's one of your most unique experiences while producing Floribama Shore?
I'd probably say, like, when you first get into the house, you just have all these cameras pointing at you, and immediately they tell you before you go in not to look at the cameras, and the first thing you see is 4 cameras. You're like, I wasn't supposed to look at the cameras. Oh, I'm doing it right now.
Honestly, to piggyback on that, the cameras is the biggest thing. Like, living in front of a camera 24/7, like coming into the house, there are certain things that you don't want to do on camera. Like, I don't want to pick my nose and, do all of these things on camera. But, honestly, all of those habits that we do behind the scenes, you know what? I just got comfortable doing it on camera. So, hey, whatever you see, Rosalie, don't judge me.
All right, thanks to both of you for joining us this morning and sharing some of the excitement of the new MTV show that features the beautiful Gulf Coast of Floribama.
Thank you, Rosalie. Appreciate you.
This holiday season, we all want the gift of good health. But if you're one of over 15 million Americans living with COPD, you are at greater risk to contract a lung disease called non-tuberculous mycobacteria, or NTM. We all come in contact with microbacteria. It's found in our tap water, shower heads, steam from hot tubs, and soil from our gardens and parks. Here to educate us to NTM lung disease and its risks to patients with COPD is Dr. Shannon Kasperbauer, an infectious disease physician at National Jewish Health and assistant professor in the Division of Microbacteriology and Respiratory Infections at the University of Colorado School of Medicine. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Doctor, explain the definition of COPD and the cause of this chronic condition.
Yeah, COPD stands for a chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And a lot of people think about that as it relates to smoking history, emphysema, or asthma, and even a cause called bronchiectasis, which is a chronic damage to the airways. NTM lung disease, as you said, stands for non-tuberculous mycobacteria. So these are germs that are found everywhere in our environment. We all inhale them every day, and certain people are at greater risk of developing a progressive chronic infection related to NTM. So we know that there's at least 86,000 cases of NTM lung disease in the U.S., and that rate is increasing by 8% per year. And people with COPD are certainly at greater risk, but really any underlying lung condition where you have difficulty clearing the bacteria from your lungs because of airway damage. Other people that are at risk include those that have compromised immune systems. We know that people that are older, so over the age of 65, is an important risk factor. Women are disproportionately affected compared to men. And then important for your viewers, people that live in the coastal parts of the U.S. are at increased risk. So those people make up 7 out of 10 cases of NTM lung disease.
So here in Florida, people are more at risk?
Well, it's a good question, and we really don't understand that well. We think that part of it, living in the coastal parts of the U.S., because this is an environmental organism, you simply have a higher exposure to these germs in the environment, and some of that could be related to the humidity or the vapor content in the air.
So the microbacteria that is in soil, and we're gardening, that could put us more at risk?
Yep, that is true. Yep, so the germs are aerosolized, and again, we all probably come into contact with these on a daily basis. So it's important to understand that there's something about the host that allows people to get NTM lung disease, like those risk factor conditions that I just noted.
Does Florida rank higher in NTM lung disease?
Great question. So it's actually in the top 10 states that represent the highest rates of NTM lung disease. But I would say that your viewers should know that there are certain symptoms that can alert them to look further into this diagnosis, and those would include having a chronic cough. So typically, that's a cough that lasts more than 2 weeks, and it might be a productive cough of sputum. It might be a dry cough. Some patients describe significant fatigue or exhaustion. Others may have weight loss or poor appetite. And some patients describe actually having fevers, chills, and night sweats. And then finally, we recognize a group of patients that just have recurrent episodes of bronchitis or pneumonia that's poorly responsive to routine antibiotic therapy.
How important is it to get tested for NTM lung disease?
People can develop chronic, permanent damage to their lungs if they're not diagnosed properly and treated. And because a lot of these symptoms that I just talked about mimic other lung conditions, delays in diagnosis are very common. So we have patients that frequently have gone on with symptoms for months and even years before they're ultimately diagnosed.
How can NTM be treated?
In general terms, we treat this infection with a cocktail of antibiotics, and that regimen lasts several months. And the whole goal of treatment is to be able to take someone's sputum cultures, which is an important part of the diagnosis, is being able to culture this from your sputum and making those sputum cultures negative, meaning that we can't find the bacteria in their lungs any longer.
All right, doctor, tell us, where can we learn more?
There's two important websites that I would like them to explore. And the first one is aboutntm.com. And that website gives them a lot more resources on NTM lung disease, but also helps them frame a discussion to start talking to their provider if they're concerned that they or one of their loved ones might be struggling with some of these symptoms. The other website is ntminfo.org. And that website is actually an incredible tool for connecting patients with other people that struggle with NTM lung disease, either through an online community or local support groups in their area.
Thank you, Dr. Casper Bauer, for joining us this morning to educate our viewers to the risk of non-tuberculous microbacteria.
Thank you.
The classics are the newest trends for this holiday season. From toys to recipes to caring for our health. Take time to enjoy life with those you love. Share with us your holiday classic ideas for food, fun, and great memories at facebook.com/Rose Lee Show. And follow us on Instagram at The Rose Lee Show. You can watch this episode and more right here or 24/7 at RoseleeArcherShow.com. Thank you for joining us, and happy holidays to you and your family from all of us at Rose Lee Productions.